It is happening again, beautiful viewers. Donald Trump kicked off his morning by learning of more shocking and violent allegations against one of his key allies. It's funny how this keeps happening, right? Whatever would suggest that Republicans have a female problem. If you're as frustrated by the ongoing scandal machine of the Republican Party, or if you just need some hope that a deep red Republican district could soon flip to the Democrats, stay tuned. We have all the details coming up next here on The David Reddish Show. Happy Friday, beautiful viewers. I am your host, and before we dive in, remember to subscribe to our channel now if you have not. So, in case you hadn't noticed, Republicans in the MAGA era, especially those with close ties to President Groposaurus Rex, have a problem with scandals, usually involving bribery, conflicts of interest, or especially sex and violence. Need proof? Well, consider the case of Republican Congressman Tony Gonzalez.
I am not going to resign. I work every day. I work every day for the people of Texas.
2 months after fighting calls for his resignation, U.S. Representative Tony Gonzalez did just that.
It has been my privilege to serve the residents of Texas's 23rd Congressional District. Signed sincerely, Tony Gonzalez, Member of Congress.
His departure from Congress comes after months of avoiding our questions about his affair with staffer Regina Santos Aviles. The attorney representing her widower believes the affair played a role in her suicide last September.
Where's Kent
Santos Aviles. Is there any response you have to that?
The congressman confessed to the affair last month.
I've asked God to forgive me, which he has.
But said then he planned to serve out his term in Congress. Gonzalez changed his tune on Monday, announcing his retirement.
Or if that's not bad enough, there's also the ongoing scandal around Florida Congressman Cory Mills, a man so vile he has actually been targeted by other Republicans, namely Nancy Mace, the woman most likely to have inspired the mom from the movie Carrie.
Republican congresswoman's now taking action to kick Florida Congressman and fellow Republican Cory Mills out of Capitol Hill. South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace introduced a resolution to expel Mills from Congress over accusations that include sexual misconduct. Mills is under investigation already by the House Ethics Committee over allegations of sexual misconduct and campaign finance violations. He has denied any wrongdoing. In a post on X, Mills told Mace to, quote, call the vote forward.
Sid never dies. The devil has come home. I'm sorry. Nancy Mace always makes me think of Piper Laurie. And if you don't know who that is, or if you haven't seen the movie Carrie, go do a web search for that. And if you want to know how this gets even worse, please stay tuned. Of course, in the Trump era, when the president himself is a convicted felon, sexual predator, grifter, and philanderer, it shouldn't surprise anyone that he is attracting other vile people to the Republican Party. The party of Christian values. I can't believe Jesus hasn't sued for defamation at this point, but I digress. With all this scandal swirling amid Trump's own scandals and upcoming midterm elections, you will be happy to know it all just got so much worse for Republicans. Meet Representative Max Miller, a Republican congressman from Ohio. This morning, Miller stands accused of domestic abuse against his ex-wife, and photos back up her allegations. Check this out. The Daily Mail broke the story this morning that Miller, age 37, who was endorsed by Donald Trump in his primary election, now faces chilling charges from his ex-wife, Emily Moreno. We should mention at this point that these accusations carry an additional onus, as Moreno also happens to be party royalty. She's the daughter of Republican Ohio Senator Bernie Moreno. At present, Emily wants changes to the custody of her children with Miller, as his behavior has grown violent and erratic. According to court documents, on February 1st of this year, Miller allegedly grabbed and struck Emily, age 32, during a custody exchange at her Ohio home, leaving bruises on her arm, elbow, and torso, while Emily was holding their 2-year-old daughter, Ruth. That poor baby. Even worse, this was not an isolated incident. In an earlier incident on June 9th, 2024, the congressman allegedly hurled a pot of boiling water at Emily during an argument inside their Ohio home in front of their 8-month-old daughter. Multiple sources have attested to these allegations. Quote, Max Miller is a nightmare who is spiraling out of control, and everyone in Washington knows it, close quote, a source familiar with the couple's marriage claimed to the Daily Mail. Quote, he's still just a spoiled rich kid at heart who has had everything handed to him on a silver platter and lashes out at anyone who dares tell him no, close quote. And there is even more evidence to support these charges. As we mentioned, Emily Moreno has provided photographic evidence of areas where she sustained bruises from fights with Max Miller, as well as one photo showing burn marks after he threw the boiling water on her. There's also an apology note from Miller to Moreno written the same day as the boiling water attack. Miller apologizes in the note, though he does not say for what and does not admit to any physical abuse. It's also worth mentioning that another previous girlfriend of Miller has also accused him of violent abuse. So tell me again how the Republican Party represents family values and champions women. Note that at the time of this report, Miller has not faced calls for his resignation either. Someone get Nancy Mace on the phone and see how long that lasts. Moving on. It's a sad state of affairs, but this kind of misbehavior has become a widening epidemic in Congress, especially among Republicans. Miller, Gonzalez, Mills, Matt Gaetz, these are people Donald Trump loves. They say you can always judge a man by the company he keeps. Well, when these guys love hanging out with President Strokey Pants, or when Trump surrounds himself with philandering sex criminals and wife beaters, not to mention his good buddy Jeffrey Epstein, what does that say about him? Here's a suggestion. Why not hold a mass exorcism for the party and just see who bursts into flames? I'll bring the wine and holy water. Or, failing that, how about we just send these twits to prison and restore democracy in our country? Sounds good to me. This is The David Reddish Show.